Once upon a time, there was a village called Ajadi village. This village has been a very peaceful village, but there is something in this village that is still a mystery to everyone who lived in it. In the village, there is a forest called Igbo Aiku Bada. But what was extremely mysterious about this forest is that there was no night in the forest, just day throughout. And the forest was extremely colorful and beautiful, but no one must enter the forest. No one knew the mystery of this beautiful forest. All they knew is that once you enter, you won't be able to come out. It was a forest of no return. Meanwhile, there was a young boy called Bolaji. He was in his teens, a very hardworking and respectful boy, but followed the wrong set of friends, and his mom always warned him about this. He has a younger brother, but he lost his father years ago. Bolaji had always wanted to know what was in the beautiful forest. He once joked about entering the forest to his mom, but she gave him a stern look and warned him not to think about it. He talked to his friends about it, and they advised him to enter the forest. They convinced him that there could be money and gold in the forest. When he asked one of them to follow him into the forest, they all refused and gave flimsy excuses. Bolaji was curious. He really wanted to know what was in the forest. Later, he decided to go and meet the 3 old men of the village. Maybe they might have an answer to it. These old men are often called wise men because they speak in proverbs and always have answers to most questions asked by the villagers. Bolaji went to talk to them about the forest, but they all advised him to kill the curiosity that lies in him. They told him that they don't know what is in the forest, but they have heard terrible stories about it. They warned him to stay away from the forest. Still unsatisfied by their answers, Bolaji decided to meet the herbalist of Ajadi village to find out if he knew what lies in the forest. When he met the herbalist, the old man told him that he didn't know what was there and told Bolaji to go home and stop seeking for things that have no answer. Bolaji was angry by all the replies to his questions. He went back to his friends and told them what happened. Tayo, who is one of them, told him not to listen to them. He said, "They all don't want you to get the gold and money that is there. That is why they are advising you against entering the forest," Tayo said. Ade, who is also one of his friends, gave his advice as well. "How can a beautiful forest like that be dangerous? Don't listen to them. Follow your dreams." The rest of his friends agreed with Ade and Tayo, and Bolaji was motivated to find answers to his questions by entering the forest. The next day, when Bolaji's mom was about to go to the market, she asked Bolaji to follow her, but he pretended to be sick and laid on his bed shivering. Bolaji's mom quickly covered him and told him to stay at home and rest while she and his younger brother go to the market. Bolaji was very happy. When his mother left, he quickly packed some fruits, clothes, and water in a small old cowskin bag. He carefully checked if his mother had gone before he could head out. On his way to the forest, he met the 3 old men, and he looked away. He didn't want anyone to discourage him from his quest. As he was about to enter the forest, an old woman called him and advised him not to go inside, but Bolaji hissed and ignored her advice. He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. He entered the forest. The forest was incredibly beautiful, but as he got further into the forest, it started getting foggy. The appearance of the forest changed. It became extremely ugly and dark. He started seeing traces of footprints on ground and was terrified by what he saw next. He began trembling. His legs were shaking. Tears rolled down his cheeks. He was scared and turned back to run out of the forest. But it was too late, as he couldn't find the entrance anymore. Everywhere was filled with thick long trees. He turned back and saw headless humans. There were about 200 headless humans in form of men, women, and children. Some had their heads in their hands and their faces were incomplete. Bolaji decided to hide and not create attention to himself. But as he was walking slowly, he slipped and all the headless humans paid attention to him. He paused and all of them started running towards him. At this point, he didn't know what to do. He started running and they were all pursuing him, but they were surprisingly fast and about to catch up to him when he felt someone tapping him. He opened his eyes, saw his mom, and realized it was all just a dream. He was sweating profusely and still shivering. His mom asked him what happened, and he didn't bother to reply her. He just jumped out of bed and hugged her. She was confused, but he was so glad that it was just a dream. Bolaji made sure he stopped talking to his friends and started avoiding them. He also wasn't curious about the beautiful forest anymore. He didn't even want to hear about it again. Listen, it is important we try to be wise in life. Don't listen to bad advice from friends. Choose your friends wisely, for the company you keep can uplift or lead you astray. It is also important to know who your friends are. Bad friends lead to bad advice and bad decisions that will end up in regretted actions. True friends support your growth, while bad friends will pull you down. Surround yourself with those who bring out the best side of you and not the worst. The end. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe.